Hey, what's up everybody? I'm back in America. This is Josh.
What's up, guys?
Josh was in Ukraine with me.
Yup.
We traveled for like 30 hours.
Let's hop on this flight to Frankfurt. Thank you. Get on this plane, headed back to America.
Heading home. We just landed in Houston. We're back in America.
I'm still kind of sad that it's over.
30 hours of traveling later.
Whole trip was crazy.
Had a great time.
Welcome to Houston, boy. I have a lot of footage I want to edit from the trip to Ukraine, a lot of cool stuff that we had the opportunity to do while we were there. But unfortunately, we had to leave early because of the travel ban that went into place actually today at midnight, this past midnight. And I know it wasn't for American citizens, but the group that I was traveling with, they decided that they would just go ahead and get us back before that travel ban went into effect, just because at the rate of everything that's happening, you know, you never know. We might have gotten stuck there for a while.
Did you hear that our flight got canceled?
Which one?
Our original flight.
Really?
Yeah, we were left on tomorrow.
No way.
It got canceled.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. Our flight got canceled. And so I know I made a video, the last video I made about the travel ban, talking about the coronavirus and all that. I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't know anything about the seriousness of the coronavirus. We left Waco, Texas a week ago yesterday. We left on Friday the 6th, and when we left, it wasn't that big of a deal. People weren't really tripping about it. And so when we left, then while we were in Ukraine, I was off social media. I didn't really have internet while I was there. And so I didn't know what was happening in America. And while it was like when we were in Ukraine that everything blew up, that sports started getting canceled, NBA was canceled, NCAA canceled, classes and schools shut down. It just went insane. And now I'm getting back. I got back last night, and for the last 12 hours, well, 9 of it I was sleeping, but I've been trying to figure out and wrap my head around the gravity and just what's happening in America. And it's actually kind of crazy because yeah, there's just a lot of things that I didn't know or expect. So I'm just curious to see how this thing develops, and I'm curious to learn more about what's going on. I did do research on Italy, and Italy is doing really bad, which is sad and crazy because I was just living there. But yeah, one thing I did learn is that the coronavirus is most deadly towards older people, people with lower immune systems, things like that. And so when I first heard about it, I was like, well, it's not gonna affect me very much because, you know, I'm a pretty healthy person. And so I was like, I'm not gonna worry about it. But the problem is that you can become a carrier if you get the coronavirus. If I had it and then I give it to an older person, they could potentially die. So that's where I get it now. I understand that it's pretty serious for me to just not be around a lot of people. I mean, I don't have it. Well, at least I don't think I have it. We don't think I have it.
We hope not.
We were in Ukraine, which is not a country that was banned. So there wasn't any cases in Ukraine. Maybe one case in Ukraine. So it's not like we were around people where it had been a widespread thing. And so that's where I'm fine. But again, here's the now more difficult part about this specific virus that I think freaks everybody out, is that you don't show symptoms for 14 days. And you can pass it to somebody else without knowing that you even have it. So say I get it today, I don't know it, I have it for 2 weeks, and so for 2 weeks I can give it to other people. And that's sketch, I get that. All right, I'm watching this video right now of Joe Rogan talking to this disease expert named Michael Osterholm. I'm gonna watch it for 15 minutes, and then in a second, you'll hear my thoughts. All right, I just got done watching this Joe Rogan experience with Michael Osterholm. He's a disease expert. Here's some of the things I learned, and yeah. First thing I will say is that, one, definitely more serious than I thought. And now that makes sense. If you don't know the seriousness of something, then you have to learn information on why it's more serious. So I get it, I understand. Thank you for all the people that let me know that it was more serious. So here's some of the things that this guy, Michael Osterholm, talked about. One, this is actually 10 times to 15 times more serious than the regular flu. The biggest thing is that we are in the very beginning stages of it, and so the stats that have come out are only stats on the beginning. So if this continues to grow, which it will, the stats are going to get higher and higher, and if you work from that place of statistics, that stat is a lot higher than the flu. He said that he predicts, or their center that works on this stuff or studies this stuff, he predicts that there'll be 48 million hospitalizations in the United States, 96 million cases of it, and around 480,000 deaths. That's like in the next 3 to 6 months, which is crazy. And so he talked about how, like, if you just look at Italy 3 weeks ago, people were living pretty normally, and now it's totally shut down. 2 weeks ago, there was no cases in the US, now there's a ton. It exponentially increases. So he called it an R naught, which basically means that it doubles every 4 days. So at the beginning stages, if there's one person that has it, then every 4 days it's like 1, then in 4 days later it's 2, then 4 days later it's 4, 4 days later 8. And so that's not that really big. But now, a couple months down the line or whatever, 500 goes to 1,000, which goes to 2,000, 4,000, 8,000. Then those numbers start becoming like something where people actually take it seriously. So, it's just crazy. You have to like understand my perspective. Like, I left America, nobody was really talking about it. It wasn't really that big of a deal. And then I was offline for like a week, come back to America because everything was like shut down and America travel was getting shut down. And now I'm back and I'm like trying to figure out like what's happening and just like reading a bunch of stuff, watching videos of a bunch of stuff. What am I gonna do? Because I just traveled, that I'm supposed to quarantine for 14 days. So it looks like I'm gonna be quarantined for 14 days. Me and the Raj, straight quarantined. And then I'm just gonna continue to learn about what's going on. The guy did say though, his goal is to like, get this information out, not to scare us, but to just make us aware. And he made me aware. So now that I'm aware, I'm gonna be taking this a little more seriously. And then my encouragement to you, for the people who are not at risk, your job is not to really focus on yourself, but to focus on other people, because there's other people that can be at risk, and you coming into contact with them, you can make them sick. That's my update. I'm back in America. I'm gonna stay in this room with my cat. Hopefully the Raj doesn't have coronavirus. Raj, look at Raj. It's over there. Right there. More updates to come. Oh yeah, and finally, I just want to say shout out to all my new friends in Ukraine. If you're watching this, it was so good to meet you. If I knew that this was gonna all go down, I still would have gone, because meeting those kids and those people in Ukraine was so worth it. I had such a great time, and just getting to love those kids was definitely worth it. So I'm interested to see what life is like here in Waco. It's probably gonna feel like a summer when all the kids leave. So
Yeah, the roads are empty.
Really?
Yeah, straight up. Like, I was driving this morning, it was just like no traffic whatsoever.
dude,
It's